Hello, I'm Bill Curtis. This video in the Serving Our Seniors program will teach you about living will declarations. We'll talk about what a living will is, why a living will is important, how a living will is created, a living will versus a power of attorney, and do not resuscitate order, and when a living will begins and ends. In the event of a terminal medical condition, would you want your doctors to do everything possible to keep you alive? Or would you prefer to pass away naturally? A living will declaration is a written legal document where you state your wishes about whether you want to receive certain medical treatments, such as life support, which will artificially postpone your imminent death if you are terminally ill. A living will may provide guidance to your family and doctors regarding your desires not to receive certain life-supporting medical treatment. Your family and your doctors should honor a living will as the final expression of your legal right to accept or refuse medical treatment. Living wills are not recognized or valid in every state. So you will need to check with a lawyer or your state's Department of Aging to be sure a living will is an option for you. If you live in a state that does accept living will declarations, your state will likely have its own standard form and specific rules for living wills. Depending on your state, a living will declaration may be known by a different name. For example, some states refer to a living will declaration as an advanced healthcare directive, a declaration of desire for natural death, a terminal care document, or a declaration to physicians. If you decide to sign a living will declaration, it is important for you to use the correct form for your state and follow your state's rules. If you need more assistance, you can talk to a lawyer or your state's Department of Aging office. For a living will declaration to be valid, you must sign it. You must have legal capacity, and some states have additional requirements. Many states have a standard living will declaration form you can use. Depending on your state's form, the language of a living will declaration form may be very specific or very broad. You can also choose to change the standard form by crossing out or adding in language to suit your specific directions and wishes. Before you sign your living will declaration, it is extremely important that you read what it says and understand how it works. If you do not understand the language in a living will declaration form, talk with a lawyer who can explain it to you. Signing a living will declaration is a serious decision about how you wish to die. Be sure you fully understand the consequences and meaning of the form you are signing. Living wills are generally effective when they are signed. Living wills, however, are only used when you lack the ability to speak for yourself regarding your medical treatment. Until that time, you decide and control the course of your medical treatment. In some states, the effective date of a living will declaration may depend on state law or a specific situation. Most states allow you to revoke a living will declaration at any time. Each state has specific rules on how and when a living will may be revoked, so be sure to follow the steps required by your state. A living will declaration is only a written statement of your intent regarding certain life-sustaining procedures. In contrast, a power of attorney for health care authorizes a person to act on your behalf to make sure your wishes are followed. A living will declaration may be helpful as a guide for your agent if you have a power of attorney for health care and they need to decide about whether to withdraw life-sustaining medical treatment. A living will declaration may also be useful if your appointed agent cannot or will not act on your behalf. Many people confuse a living will declaration and a do not resuscitate order, also known as a DNR. A DNR is a medical treatment order that says cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, will not be used if a person's heart stops. Often the DNR is written in conjunction with a particular medical procedure or hospital stay, and is usually limited to that procedure or hospital stay. In comparison, a living will declaration states your intentions about whether any death-delaying or life-sustaining procedures should be performed if your death is imminent. In addition, your living will declaration is not limited to a certain doctor, hospital stay, or medical procedure like a DNR. We hope this video helped you understand how a living will declaration works and how it can be a valuable tool in making future decisions about your end-of-life medical treatment. If you do decide to sign a living will declaration, it's a good idea to provide a copy to family members, your doctors, and anyone appointed to make healthcare decisions on your behalf, such as your agent under a power of attorney for healthcare.